in the hotel world, there's very well-defined target customers, and depending on the property and where it's located, it will be a different mix of effectively the same group of people. Your style of hotel and where you're located just might dictate where that mix ends up. Who's your target customer, and how do you define it?
Yeah, great question. We have a distinct focus on group travel. That could be families, or it could just be a group of friends. And what's particularly interesting when you get into this segment is it doesn't just have to be traditional families. It could be the family you had in high school. So it's all of these different groups, but generally group travel, leisure. That's just a product of the markets that we're in. And we like this focus on group travel in particular because there just isn't really a great product for it. If you were to go and book a trip with seven of your high school or college buddies, um, it would be a totally different experience to stay in five or six hotel rooms. There wouldn't be any common areas. There wouldn't be this interaction. You wouldn't have a living room or a kitchen. And ultimately, you couldn't really create memories around the space. That's what we're doing. We're not selling rooms as much as we are selling memories.
I think there's some hotel people that are listening right now to hear you say that one of your primary target customers is the group market, which is a massive part of a typical, hotel demographic, target demographic. Having always thought that it was the leisure traveler that was more at risk, or the leisure market that it was a little bit more at risk for their hotel, but hearing that there's opportunity out there for group people to stay in, I'm going to use short-term rental as a catch-all, is probably a little, maybe a little terrifying, actually. Because I think many may have thought like, oh, we can deal with a little bit of loss of leisure traveler because that's seasonal and, we can make it up in other ways. But if you guys are going after group travelers during group travel seasons, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I think there's kind of this interesting view where if you looked at before COVID, if you asked Marriott who their biggest threat was, they might have said Hilton. Maybe if they were visionary, they would say Airbnb. We think it turned out to be Zoom, of all things. So when it comes to kind of are we a competitor to hotels, I think we're alternate. Sure, sometimes people are going to choose us over a Marriott, but we certainly aren't the biggest threat. The biggest threat is how people have changed. It's remote work. It's these new travel patterns, these new trends, and the technologies that make those trends possible.
I think that's a really good point. You're not necessarily trying to do a land grab on hotels. You're just meeting customers where they are today. And it's hotels that need to
Exactly.
evolve.